subscribe to the Donnie Houston podcast, man. Man, talk about because I mean, time has passed on, and this is, you know, I mean, people gonna watch this and wonder, man, when is he gonna ask? So what? Now that you're out of the system, out of Radio One and all that, like, do you view everything that happened with Trae? Because that happened on Mad Hatter Morning Show, right?
It did.
Do you have a different view on that? With that?
No, that's a person that I'll never talk to. That's a person that I'm always feel the same way about that. That person knows because I told him to his face. I told you, man, I'm a pretty straight up guy, and other people will position themselves to tell a story a particular way, and that's another one where I had to eat a lot of hate. And it was crazy because all of this started because somebody asked you a question that you couldn't answer. And that's literally what it came from.
What you mean?
It was some question that the girl Nate asked him about why he had that. There was, for those that don't know, there was a
shooting at the Trae.
There was a shooting at the TSU, and like everything that was happening in the city. We always had an open door policy. So if something happened to a rapper or something like that, we put you on there. I was cool with it because I had relationships with all these people. And so, he was trying to explain his side. Nate had these questions because, her parents lived in the neighborhood and, it was, she just figured like, yo, why you have it here? Or whatever she asked him. And then he just didn't want to be questioned by a woman. And so it led to some diss tape or something where he called her a bitch. Now, here's the funny thing. Me and Mac had known about it. And we were like, please don't let this get up here. Because you have to understand, most of my career, I've worked around women. And women are going to look out for them because it's not a lot of them. So I knew if something happened and these women found out, I'm not the boss. I'm not going to be able to control what's going to happen next. So I always thought it was honorable that this person dissed this black woman and called her these names. And it was a white woman that came to her aid. And I've watched everybody ride with somebody that was okay with a black woman being disrespected. I've always found that to be very strange. All these people were riding with this, but like, so y'all cool with that? And then it was interesting to watch how other media and people took a story and gave it a new face and a name. I'm like, you all are being used for a promotional item for this person to sell records. And so it was interesting just to watch this play out. And then I watched people get hurt and lose jobs because of this. And all this is because people were trying to protect other people. And I still won't put everything out there, but I will say that there were a lot of people that were getting hurt.
You mean like physically hurt?
Yes. There were a lot of people getting hurt. There were instances where people were getting threatened. I was threatened. Somebody called me from jail and threatened my life. I won't say who or what, but I was called and threatened. I don't care. Because I was like, wow, that's gangster. I just document everything. And I always tell people, if this happens, go see this person right here. So I just leave it. I just leave it. Yeah, that's all I do. But I just thought, this is stupid, all because of...
So it was about questioning, because the narrative, what I was always heard was like, it was told like, what do you expect? It was kind of put on him of like, he kind of brings this type of crowd out. And that was the...
Nope.
That was the deal.
Nope. I can tell you that is not the truth. Everything that was here's the funny thing about information. If anybody ever want to know the truth, go look at the court paperwork and the documentation and the video. There's a video of my boss. There's a video of former boss. There's a video. You can go look at the transcript. It'll tell you everything. I got sued for $1 million. J-Mac got sued for me. It was bizarre. That's something that was never going to be won. It was just crazy. It was ludicrous. It was stupid. And really all it was a promotional incident that people fell for. And not only did they fall for it, people looked at this other person as the person that was being hurt. And they totally forgot that this black woman was just called out her name because she asked a question. And a white woman came to her aid to say, hey, and here's the other thing too. This was just a momentary thing. What happens sometimes is people's egos get the best of them, and situations get totally out of control. So this thing happened over a week, and I'm giving way more information than I should. So to the people close to me, don't be mad because I'm giving some of this information. I won't give all of it. But it was a weekend situation, so they were like, hey, dead everything until I get back so I can deal with this properly. So the people that revealed whatever they revealed, they put a match on something, and it got blown out of proportion because this person was feeling like their music wasn't being played. But that was not the case. Now, once people started getting hurt, and I can't be cool with you. If I do something to your brother, you ain't gonna never be cool with me until you feel like we even, maybe, and then maybe then you ain't gonna be cool. It's just human nature. But nothing was ever done to that person. It was just amazing, though, to watch how many people would turn against you. And by the way, that's why I'm going to always really like Zero, because he put his career on the line to stay with the truth, so to speak.
It's crazy you said that.
And I literally like Zero, because Zero like, I'll tell everybody all the truth. I said, this is not your fight. I'm like, bro, you got a really great career. Don't be taking the radio station side. I said, you see all the other rappers, they're not, and they know exactly what's going on. I said, don't get involved in this, man. I don't give, this. And I just thought it was amazing as a human being that he was okay with being on the side of right. And, somebody else could come here and they will paint a totally different picture, and I don't care what narcissistic tale they tell. That's cool. I've had this conversation to people's face and told them how I feel. And I made it very clear, if Jesus and God came down from heaven and said, hey, man, this is a cool situation, I would probably look at God and say, nah, that ain't cool, God.
Like that.
And I was very clear about it. But again, the most amazing thing is the way a narrative, depending on how you promote it, a narrative can be changed, and people's opinions could be swayed so easy. And it was amazing to just watch how, and I watched it destroy a black woman. I mean, Nate won't say it like that, but that person takes this person that did that. He feels like he accomplished something by destroying this black woman that asked you a question. You know what? You know how many questions reporters ask President Barack Obama or any person? It's not that it's a hard question. Answer it the best you can and just move on. There was no malice intent. This person wanted to really understand why you did it there. Because I wanted to. The end. There's no need to do diss tapes. And, I got phone calls. Man, my mama heard that. Or I'm going to beat somebody. I'm like. And another shout out I got to do to somebody else, and he probably won't be mad at me, is Chameleonaire. Me and Chameleonaire have fallen out prior to all of this happening. God bless him. We're really cool as ice now. And I get it. When you're young, you always think that somebody might be getting something from you. You know what I'm saying? Because he was signed to my label. So, anybody that's signed to the label always thinking that the record company guy is getting more than you. No, man. Just Southwest took all the money. We ain't got none. I can't give you none. Well, you give it to me. So anyway, when this situation was happening, he was really concerned. It was in this, the people who are beautiful to you became even more beautiful. And the people who maybe seemed against you, you saw how they wanted to truly understand what was going on. And it was my responsibility at that time as the pseudo leader of the radio station to not falter or sway or change, because other people were afraid of this person. And I'm just not a scary guy. It's just me. I'm like Zero. I'm just one deep. I just roll with me and my girlfriend, so to speak, and and I'm good. And so I never really worried about that. But I saw a lot of people get hurt. I didn't appreciate it. I think it's still funny the way that a white woman came to the aid of a black woman, and no one sees that part of the story because this other person comes across as this crusader. The game is to be sold, not told. And that's about as much detail as I can get into there, just to protect other people. I don't care about protecting the dude, but I can never be cool with him. I'm not going to act cool. I think what happened was absolutely wrong. Uh, and like I said, when you watch people's careers destroyed and people in fear or thinking their life is in jeopardy, and so they want you to make peace so bad because they think it'll make their life easier because they're afraid. And you got to explain to them, nah, man, right is right and wrong is wrong. And so you understand that there were really people really afraid, and I feel bad for. I always felt bad for everybody else, because I was used to getting a certain amount of hate. But when you watch social media and you see how dehumanizing other humans can be, and some of the callous things that they can say to another human being about their looks or their size or something like that, that tears you up, man. It really does, man. It just hurt me to watch how all of them, and I think there was a certain amount of love for me in the city, so I never got it as bad as Miss Nate did. It was really bad for her, man, and it was undeserving. And I don't think no man should have did that to another woman. And I think all that stuff is a situation that could have easily been done away with. But after a while, it becomes a media ploy and something that could go to the shade room and all this kind of stuff. I was just watching. It was amazing to me. To me, if you take the time to do all that, you should have put that energy into your music. That's the way I always felt. There was a lot of energy going into this thing that never worked. It never worked. And I stayed long enough to sit around and say, okay, cool. I don't want to do this no more because this is not what this business was about. And that's another reason why I stopped too. We had really dealt with that. It literally was almost a decade.
I was gonna say how much did things change? Because I mean,
it changed everything.
It seemingly like divided the city to a degree. You know,
it
what I mean?
did. You know what it really? Here's what it really did. There was an access that was given to people to come up there, and to me, it was also, it helped to slow down what this city was musically in this city. Because what happened is all of a sudden people then found out, oh, these people really don't care about me. These people will really hurt me. And you start seeing a whole different side. I always felt like it did put a little black eye and slow down the progression of this city. That part was hard to watch too. You know what I'm saying? It was really hard to watch. And there'll still be people looking at this now like, oh, la 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 la, and they'll be down making comments. You just have to be okay with that at this point. That some people are miserable and unhappy, and they want to spread their misery and unhappiness. But I actually watched people, semi almost destroyed. And that just wasn't fun, and it was unnecessary. And after a while, you do feel like a ploy. And, come on, man. You suing me for $1 million because I don't talk about you? Because you think I'm supposed to? What kind of ego is that?
Yeah.
I gotta talk about you? So everybody who I don't talk about should sue me too. And even if you got a song on country radio, or it just opens this this crazy place. It just opens it all up. I'm glad you asked the question. Most people never ask the question.
Yeah, no,
it's like an elephant in the room. And I'll be honest with you, years ago, I wouldn't talk about it because I felt like it would help that person sell records. Now I know there's no way in the world that could happen, so I'll talk about it now. Back then, anything, it seemed like, even sometimes bad press can give you good energy. And so I wouldn't talk about it. And even it got to the point where and I have to salute my company, because it's times like this where you can see where they really sit. And I know they probably spent a lot of money on lawsuits and stupid shit. And they understood exactly what happened. And they're like, no, we got you. We got you. We understand what's happening here, so we got you. I always thought that of my whole career, I saluted them for that. Now, at the very end, when I had to leave, there's some things that I didn't salute for, but that right there, I can give credit to the company for. They were very supportive and understood what was going on at the time, even though other people did not. And I'm probably not being 100% clear here. And honestly, it's nobody's business. I can just say that people were hurt. I didn't appreciate it. It was stupid. It was dumb. And if you really want to know the truth, just the records sit right there in the courthouse. You can pull them anytime you want, and you can see the video. You can read it word for word, and it's some good reading. Because Rob G one morning read the whole thing to us, and we were like, "What? Crazy dog!" It was. When you read it and you see the truth, you be like, "Oh, okay, now I understand." But again, it's crazy how people don't search for the truth. They just search for what can get the headline or the click. And that's the world that we live in. And that's why when I see stuff now, I don't fall for it. I know that there's always two sides to every story. 3, it's your side, his side, and the truth. Mm-hmm. And, depending on whose side you're on, if you're on that guy's side, you're going to take his side. There's nothing that I could say. I could sit here and tell you that he murdered somebody and did this, did that. And you'd be like, well, it seemed to be a justifiable murder. So it just, depends on who you tell the story to. But, hey, man, live your life, man. Live your life, and we don't have to cross paths. And God bless everybody. But I don't. Personally, I mean, it's cool because we don't got to cross paths or anything like that. But that was an unfortunate situation. And like I said, at the end, you would still get people like, y'all still on this? I'm like, I'm done. Y'all can give that to somebody else. I'm going to go over here in Mo City and chill.
Yeah. Donnie Houston.